about it. Atlanta, Georgia, fantastic. Oh, so you're here in the United States. Fantastic. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Welcome. So we are live. I just want to double check that you guys can still hear me and see my screen. Yes,
Yes,
amazing.
ma'am, we're
Very
all good.
good. So today's webinar, basically, we want to share with you what it actually takes to start how do you launch your startup journey? How do you do that successfully? And what are some of the common mental blocks or challenges that you might come across? And I'm sure that anyone who started a business for the very first time knows exactly what that's like, all the fears, the doubts, the limitations that will come up for us. And how do we actually build confidence for success on our journey? And I know what it was like for me when I very first started business for myself. All of the fears, all of the doubts, all of the worries. Was I good enough? Could I do this? I've never done this before. All of the normal things came to the surface, and it really was about how did I go about that journey successfully, and how can you go about your journey successfully to ensure that you feel confident and well equipped and well supported on your journey, and knowing that when you are at the startup phase, there is lots of new things to learn. So I'm going to go through a couple of slides with you today, and hopefully provide some clarity and a bit more bit more excitement and less overwhelm and stress for those that are looking to start their startup journey. And Lenka, as I'm going through, if there's any areas where you feel you'd love to jump in and share, please do. And also, we've got the chat box, we've got the live streams as well. So if anyone's watching the lives, please feel free to comment, let us know where you're coming in from. And if you've got any questions, we'll try and answer them as we go through as well. And Lenka's going to be monitoring the chat box for us. So first and foremost is, why would you want to start a business? And this is a really interesting thing. Now, business is not for everybody. Some people they love their job, they love what they do. It provides safety, it provides security. Some people are absolute experts in their field. Some people work in a very supportive business environment, and that's absolutely okay. If you love your job, maybe business isn't for you. And if you love what you do, and it works for you and your family, then that's absolutely great. For a lot of other people out there, they want more passion. They want to enjoy what they do. They want to get up and get excited about going to do something every day. Some people absolutely dislike going to their jobs. Some people feel like there's no passion in what they do, or they feel like they're built for more. Some people want more purpose. Some people want to make more money. Some people want the extra income. They want more money for their families. And we know with the cost of living going up, and we shared a bit on this in our last webinar. And if you missed that one, we're certainly happy to share the recording of that. But a lot of people are chasing a bit more freedom and flexibility with their financial security. And, I had this experience for myself when I was working full time. There was a moment where I was doing a bit of a side hustle, and I was making more from my side income than I was from my job. And I kept asking my employer for a pay rise, and he didn't come to the party. And so in the end, because I was making extra money out of what I was doing, and it gave me that freedom, that flexibility, and that security. And so I jumped ship, and it was scary at the time to think, well, what if it, all of the doubts and the fears, what if I don't get another job, or what if, this doesn't work? And this is where, when we switch to a business mindset, we can, work for that, which I'll share in our next slide as well. But so some people want to do it for more growth. They feel like they want to expand their mindset, expand their skill sets. A lot of the workforce that we I guess conditioned into is, we go through a school system, and that school system was designed in the Industrial Revolution to create workers. And a lot of people become experts in a particular field. So they might be a business analyst or an accountant, or one thing in particular, and we do that thing, and then we climb the ranks in that particular role, and we become experts in that role. But what that also does, it kind of limits us, is because what happens is we become so fixated in that one particular role. And this is where a lot of business owners feel very overwhelmed and very stressed out when they first start. And Lenka, I'm sure that you can relate to this, is when we jump into business for the first time, we wear all of the hats. So we become the marketing manager, we become the sales executive, we become the digital expert, or the social media manager, or we become the customer service representative. We might be doing the bookworks and doing the accounting, and we end up doing a lot lot of things that we've never done before and a lot of things that we're not so great at. And that can create a lot of overwhelm. But some people are actually looking forward to that growth and that expansion. And, they feel like they've just done what they've done for such a long time and they're bored and they want to grow and expand and evolve. Um, and some people simply want to do it for more impact. I know for me, there was a time when I was working and I was so passionate because I had such a great work ethic. I was so passionate about what I was doing. But what I realized is it didn't matter how hard I worked, my income was still capped and still limited, and I couldn't have the impact that I wanted because it wasn't my business and I was not the boss. And so I wanted more impact. So for me, there was all of these things. I wanted more freedom, more fun, more flexibility with my time, more fulfillment. Definitely wanted to make some more money, and I wanted to grow and expand. And so, for you, it's for those of you that are listening to this webinar, is ask yourself the question: why business for you? Why is it that you want to start a business? Because your why becomes the thing that's going to drive you when things get challenging or when things get tough down the road. And so, really asking yourself, what is it for you that you want to do? And I know for me that I'm in my 13th, this is my 13th business model now that I'm in. I've been in business for 20 years and I've had multiple different types of businesses. And my business models have changed as I've changed. So as I've evolved through my life and I've wanted different things, I've had to modify my business model to support that new thing of why it was important for me. My last business model was had a face-to-face fitness business, which I absolutely loved and adored, and I was very passionate about. But the one thing where I felt very stuck in that is it was like a bricks and mortar business. It was a location-based business, which meant I had to be on location. And so, when I wanted to go on holidays or do some travel, it was costing me money to keep the doors open, to have staff running that particular business model. And I wanted more freedom and flexibility to travel. And so now a lot of what I do is online based, so which gives me the flexibility and the freedom to travel and be based anywhere in the world, and I can still operate my business very effectively. So for you, it's asking yourself this question, what is it for you? What's your why? Is it because you want more passion? Is it because you're dedicated to growth and expansion? Is it because you want more impact? Is it because you want to, feel more fulfilled in what you're doing every day? So it's really important piece to get clear on why you started your business. And Lenka, I'd love if you'd love to share, what was your why? What was it for you that why did you go into business for yourself to begin with? I'd love to hear.
I think for me, it was mostly I wanted to be in charge of what I really, really like to do. And I wanted to make my own decisions. And I've done the corporate thing. I tried it. I did really well, but it was not me. And I felt like there was so much more that I was destined to do. I felt it. I was ready for it. I spent 10 years in corporate learning. I call it my on-the-job training. And then when I was ready and I just felt really an easy transition, at least it felt like it initially until I realized what it actually was and what it became. And that's where the struggle, right, came with this decision. I just was ready for it. I wanted to travel. I wanted to be in charge of my schedule. I wanted to make my own decisions. Yeah. But bottom line is I was ready. No one had to tell me. I knew that it was my time.
Beautiful. I love that. I really love that. And I find that a lot of people, when they're sort of, and we see a lot of younger generation coming through now wanting to get into business for themselves. But I also find that a lot of people, when they sort of hit that, mid 30s to 40s age group, it's a really popular age for people to, they're shaking things up a little bit. They've done what they've done for such a long time, and they want something different. They want the change, and their lifestyles are starting to change at that age as well. Now, there's no right or wrong age group. It's just understanding your why. So if you are watching the live, simply comment in the chat box, what is your why is it that you want to go into business for yourself? Is it for more fun and freedom and flexibility? Is it to make more money? Is it to support your family? Is it for your own growth and expansion and learning? I'd love to hear from you. What is it that is your why? And something that we really touch on a lot in Startup Pro is understanding, how do we understand the difference or differentiate the difference between adopting a business mindset And so this is something that I work with a lot of new business owners right across the globe. It's what I do is I help a lot of people when they're in the first year or two in their business. And we have our mind is like a program, it's like a computer program. And when we've been conditioned in a particular employee style of mindset for such a long time, it can be quite a challenge for us to change the mindset because our brain works like a computer. It's learned something. And if you're fascinated around how the mind works, the Dr. Bruce Lipton talks about the biology of belief. And he talks about it that we experience life in such a way where it's almost as if somebody presses the record button on a tape recorder and it records a program. And now once that program is in our unconscious mind, it operates on autopilot. That's how we can operate so efficiently, is we produce over 80,000 thoughts a day, but we're only 5% conscious, and the rest of it's 95% unconscious. So that's what's producing all of our thoughts and our feelings and behaviors. But if you've been an employee for such a long time, it can be quite the challenge to actually change from an employee mindset to a business mindset. And so for some people, like, if you've been working a role, and a job might be something to get away from, whereas a business might be something to get excited about. And so what we can do is, if we've got that old program running, we can view a new business from that employee mindset. It's just, we look at it as this overwhelming, it's work, right? We look at it as work because we've been trained in that way. And I know Lenk and I, we get super excited about what we do. We've got so many ideas and things that we are so passionate about. So we really do get excited. And Mondays is usually my favorite day of the week because we love what we do so much. The employee mindset is also, and this is a big one that I find comes up often for a lot of new business owners, is a job is something that pays the bills, whereas a business is something that pays for your future. Now, if you have the biology of belief going on in the background, like what Dr. Bruce Lipton talks about, you have pressed the record button unconsciously for such a long time to make just enough money to pay the bills. And most people that are working jobs, usually you might have a little bit in savings, but for a lot of families, they're just getting by, they're just making it paycheck to paycheck, and they're just paying the bills each week. And that can be something that happens unconsciously, is we've learned how to just make enough money. And so a lot of people, when they're starting their business journey, they go into business and their unconscious is only geared to make so much money. And so we've really got to start to then, dive a little bit deeper and understand our money mindset, or our unconscious money blueprint, and what that looks like. And so that's something that we talk about, in our program as well, as how do we gear ourselves up for that? How do you understand, making profit in a business, and what does that look like? Another thing to, where we have to challenge and stretch our mindset, the employees, because a lot of people have isolated roles in a working organization, a lot of them will say, well, that's not my job when something goes wrong. And when you run a business, everything is your responsibility because you are the business owner. Therefore, if something's not working, it's absolutely your job to go and modify or rectify that thing. And so that's what can become very overwhelming in a business, because there's so many things that you're managing simultaneously. And it's like recognizing that you've got to take ownership and accountability and responsibility for everything in that business, because you are the business owner. So it's about taking ownership, and rather than thinking, well, that's not my job, it actually is. So that can be, somewhere an area that we need to flex our mindset on. And another one, and this came up in conversation just recently, yesterday, with a client that I was working with, and she messaged me, and she's just starting a new business. Actually, she's been in the business for a while, and it hasn't. We've modified a few things, and she sent me a message yesterday saying, "I hope this works." And I said to her, I said, "How about?" How can you make this work? So it's just literally like, if we say those words, I hope this works, what that actually does inside our unconscious mind is we just sit back and hope and pray that something's going to work. But if you ask yourself the question, how can I make this work? It actually creates a new neural pathway in the brain to go looking for solutions and ways to make it work. Another thing is also, when we're in an employee mindset, we've got a low risk, which is a low reward type setup. So if you're somebody, who doesn't like taking a lot of risks, really ask yourself, is business for you, or do you want to go in partnerships with somebody? Would that make you feel more comfortable? Because being in business it's a high risk, but it's also a high reward. And so, you can take step by step and slowly grow into the business, and then slowly stretch and challenge yourself to take a greater risk and then a greater risk. And what's actually happening there is the amygdala part of our brain is designed to keep us safe. And one of our core basic human needs is safety and security. So, or certainty. And so when you're in business, there's a lot of uncertainty. And so that can freak a lot of people out unconsciously, and they'll tend to contract rather than lean into it and go into expansion mode. But knowing that that's just a natural part of your brain just trying to keep you safe, then we can start to pattern interrupt that. Another thing with the employee mindset is they take orders and directions from other people, whereas when you're in business for yourself, you have to create your own workflows. You have to be your own boss. And the beautiful thing about that is you get to choose your own hours, but they can also work against you because, when you have a job, you're expected to turn up 9 to 5 or whatever that is, and somebody's giving you the orders and the directions of what to follow. And that can be a bit of a challenge in the interim, is to start to work on the business as well as in the business. So you have to adopt that boss mindset and become your own boss, and have discipline. And I like to give myself rewards and consequences, which would happen in a workplace, right? So in a most workplace, you would have parameters around you, like, well, if you don't perform, this is going to happen. And so sometimes we've got to get a little bit creative with ourselves as business owners and create our own rewards and consequences. So I would love to hear, Lenka, I know that sometimes as a business owner, we forget to reward and celebrate our smaller wins. How's a way that you like to celebrate when you achieve a milestone? What's something that you do to set yourself a reward, or celebrate those milestones?
I will be completely honest and transparent that it is an area for me that I really need to work on because, as you said, we go, growing a business and achieving milestones, but it almost does require discipline to actually pause and stop and recognize yourself for it because you don't have anyone else do it for you. So I think the way it happens for me is I have an incredible support from my husband, and he is my biggest supporter. So whenever something good happens, he's my cheerleader. So we share stories and we talk about it, and he does make me feel like $1 million whenever really good things happen. And I view that as, for me, it is incredibly important. And secondly, it's just a validation of everything that I'm doing because I'm doing it not only for myself, but also for my family. So I think this is the most important way of celebrating my success, knowing that my family recognizes it and they're on board with it. And they view me as a star, as a shining star, and they're my cheerleaders. It's been wonderful.
I love that. I really do love that. And it's really important, as business owners, and this is something when I'm coaching with my clients, I really help them, really identify milestones in the business. So we celebrate when they get their first client, we celebrate when they have their first launch, we celebrate when they do their first marketing campaign. And it's recognizing those little milestones, and giving themselves a reward so that, the brain is trained to, it loves to be rewarded and recognized and celebrated. And so, this is why, having, proper goal setting and planning, and actually recognizing the milestones in a business. And this is also the difference between, the employee mindset versus the business mindset, is you then, as the business owner, become the architect of the business plan and the milestones. And so then you get to, set yourself little rewards. So when you hit that target, you're going to give yourself a treat or reward in some way, shape, or form. It might be a weekend away, or going to get your nails or your hair done, or whatever that is. Um, so the other thing to be mindful of, changing our employee brain to our business brain, is the growth. Usually in an employee or a business mindset, the growth of the business depends on other people. It depends on the entire team. It depends on your performance as well as other people's performance, but it also depends on the business owner and the growth that they've set for the organization or the company. Now, when you're in business for yourself, growth really depends on you as the business owner. And so this is important for us to, really change and stretch our mind, because we've got to understand what is growth. And this is what I love about what we teach in the Startup Pro boot camps and the academy is, we really help you identify the business plan and the growth strategy. So we help you validate the business idea. We help you set clear goals. We help you map out the business plan so you know what that growth looks like. And so you can start to depend on yourself as a business owner because you're creating it for yourself. So that's what I love about what we teach at the academy is, we really help you map this out, and the growth of the business is going to depend on you. Um, the other thing is, as an employee, we get to start and finish when somebody else tells us. They might say start at 9, finish at 5. And when we are a business, we get to make our own hours. Sounds quite fascinating, really. Sounds great. Now, this can work for and against us because some people, they might, some people get really excited working for themselves and they're like, oh, I'm just going to have a day off today. I might go to the salon or go to the beach. And then they can tend to fall off the bandwagon and not do a lot of the tasks. Or they go the complete opposite direction of that, and then they forget to give themselves a break or say, hey, it's 5 o'clock, time to finish work now. And we can tend to work long hours into the night. And Lenka and I know what that's like, working around the clock. And we've got one of our beautiful team members, Jade, Crystal's on the call with us as well. And we are in different parts of the globe. So we are literally on calls sometimes at 6 o'clock in the morning or 6 p.m. at night. But being in business for yourself, because there are so many tasks to do, this is where a lot of people feel initially, I think, stretched as a business owner, is when you are working for somebody else, you tend to have an isolated role. You might be an analyst or an accountant or something like that, and you spend your hours doing that particular task for those hours. So you might spend 8 hours of your day doing that one particular task. Now, when you're a business owner, because you've got multiple tasks to do, you become the accountant, the business owner, you're the financial officer, you're the marketing manager, you're wearing all of the hats to begin with in the business. And it can feel very overwhelming, and you can feel like you're running out of time because you're trying to fit everything into a small window of opportunity. So what a lot of people do is they do the work tasks for those hours, and then they realize, well, who's running the business? That needs to be me as well. And then they end up burning themselves out. And I can share this because I've burnt out 4 times in the last 20 years in business. Um, Now, it's taken me a long time to actually understand and recognize and realize, how do you work in the business as well as on the business? And that's something that, we really help our clients also identify, is what are the key roles that need to be done in order for the success of the business model, dependent on the industry that you're in. And then how are you setting, your time schedule to actually monitor each of the tasks that you're doing? And so what I do with my calendar schedule is I actually set time blocks for the times that I'm working on the business versus working in the business. So then the business is growing as well as getting traction as well. So it's just something to think about, like, how do we adopt these different, like, how do we have to think differently as a business owner, and, recognize the perhaps pre-recorded uh, programs that are operating unconsciously in the background. Yeah. So the next one here is, like, what does it actually take to start? And this is the exciting part. Obviously, it's a growth mindset. So you really do need a growth mindset if you want to be in business. You have to be open to learning. You have to be resilient. You have to be prepared to fail. You have to be prepared to, understand that nothing's going to be perfect the first time around. And I use this analogy quite a bit. If you think of, some of the bigger companies like iPhone, for instance, Apple iPhone, I think they're up to version number 14 now. So they'll bring out the first version, take it to market. There's lots of bugs. They get a lot of feedback from the users, and then they bring out version 2.0 once they've ironed out and tidied up some of those bugs. And then they improve it, and then they'll bring out another iteration and then another iteration. And so we get to become resilient and flexible as business owners. And, and this is what I love also about what we teach at the academy, is with Lenka, we help you, think of your viable business product. What is the minimum viable product that you can take to market? And then once it's out there in the market, and Lenka and I have done this with our business model, take it to market, test it, measure it, get the feedback from the people, and then you bring it back, refine it, and then take it back out to market again. And so, that growth mindset of, there's no such thing as failure, it's only ever feedback, and we get to, refine the system as we go. The other thing you'll need is strategic thinking, which I just sort of went through some of the switching from an employee to an entrepreneur mindset. Expert guidance is really, really crucial. And so lots of people, ask for advice from their hairdresser, from their mum, from their sisters, from their best friends or their cousins at a family barbecue, which is great, by the way. It's great to ask your friends and family for feedback around your idea. However, it's also very crucial that you ask for the right advice from people who are actually qualified to give you the advice. And what we mean by that is people who've got skin in the game. They've been in your industry before, they've been in your niche before, they understand the market, and they can actually give you valid advice, rather than somebody giving you more, oh, well, that's a great idea, go for it. And then they've got no real ideas of whether it's actually a viable thing or not. And Lenka, I know that you're passionate about this particular topic. Do you want to share anything on that?
Validating your idea. Where do I begin, Julie? Right? Where do I begin? This is the part where whenever I speak to anyone inside our academy or friends, colleagues, people that are simply excited about jump in on this crazy journey as an entrepreneur, the first question I always ask, like, have you validated your idea? Because there's nothing worse than to take that enthusiasm and excitement for doing something for yourself and on your own, leaving your career behind before you actually validate what it is that you're about to do, right? Your idea is just that until you know for a fact that there are people out there who are willing to buy it, who are willing to pay for it, that there's actually that you have a solution that fits somewhere on the market. There is a need for it. Before that, it's simply just an idea. And I urge everyone that I talk to, please do not ever spend money, time, resources into anything before you validate it first. And that is the very first foundation that we teach inside Startup Pro Academy. We go into the market analysis, we ask the right questions, we validate and over validate. And if we don't have the right answers, we go back and start the cycle all over again. Because again, like I said, the worst thing you can do for yourself is to feel deflated, sad, and almost you're crushed to the point that you would never feel comfortable enough, confident enough to start again. So that is absolutely a passion of mine and something that I strongly encourage everyone to go through before they make that big decision, pull the plug. Been through the failures myself. I'm speaking from experience. I've launched businesses before that never took off. And now that I know what I know, the reason why is I never validated them. Inside my head, I thought I had a perfect solution for someone. I thought I was going to be incredibly successful the very first moment I launched, and then crickets. And then I had to go back and deal with the limiting emotions and limiting beliefs of myself that maybe I'm not good enough. And all of that process was very costly, very painful. And so everything we do and teach right now, Julie, right? It's all about that. So please don't just follow the footsteps. Make sure that you follow the process, and the very first step in the process is doing a market analysis and validating your idea.
I love that you shared that so much, and that's a free resource that we offer to anybody who wants to validate their business idea. We've got a free kit that you can download, to gain access on how do you actually validate your particular idea. And so, definitely asking right advice from the right people. And something is, you never want to reinvent the wheel. So when we talk about practical tools and resources for your journey, this is why we started the Startup Pro Academy, because for a lot of people out there starting something for the first time, they have no idea where to look for expert advice or how to get the right advice or help. And so we've created a library of tools and resources from experts in their field. And this is people who've, like got 20 years experience in different industries and niches. And so when you're getting the advice, it's been tried, it's been tested. It's not just some new kid off the block that's giving you, a two-bit piece of advice. It's actually validated advice and tools, resources, templates. And this is how you can fast track your success in any way. We call it in NLP, we call it modeling. And what that means is how can you 10x the speed of your success? It's like find somebody who's already done what you want to do successfully, someone who's done it successfully, and find out what they're doing. What is their strategy? Because I can tell you, if they are successful at what they're doing, chances are they've already been in the game for quite some time. They've learned all of the things of what not to do, and they've found the right strategy that's created the current success that they're doing. And so this is why, inside our community and our network is we regularly have guest experts in their fields and people who are experts in different niches to give you valid business advice and tools and resources to help you along the journey. So the right network is also super crucial. So, I work with a lot of coaches and consultants from across the globe. And so having a network of people that can actually support what they do, or where they can collaborate with ideas or expand on their expertise with certain people. So having the right network of people that can help you along the way. So supposing if you're looking at, doing a degree in trauma, you might want to network with some other psychologists and counselors and therapists, so you're getting an array of expert advice from people, so you've got somebody to call when you need it. We've got a great network of supporters that support the people in our community. We've got legal experts, we've got people who are sales experts, we've got branding experts, we've got people who know what they're doing that can actually be part of your network. And it's also really important, and Lenka's just put the app, for those that are on the Zoom live with us, she's just put the link for the app. If you want to download our app, you can gain access to some of those free resources straight away. And you can also have a look at details of what our academy involves as well. So the right network, I want to share this. When I first was starting business, I was talking to my friends and family about it. And I remember at the time my dad was, he was really cautious. And he's like, I would keep my job if I was you. It's safe, it's secure. What are you doing? Your job's safe, your job's secure, you've got your paycheck coming in each week. Why are you trying to do something that's so risky? And he was, instilling a bit of fear and doubt in me that I could do it. And even when I started, he could see the initial challenges and struggles and things that I was going through. And he would say to me, I would go and ask, go ask for your job back, go get that job back. And so, and it was quite disheartening at the time, but this is why it's also very important to have the right network of people, because if they've been there before you and they've done it before you, they know how to guide you in the right way to, if it's not working, try this. Hey, if that's not working, have you tried this? So they're going to be people who can actually encourage you to continue on your journey. Now, on that note, I don't suggest that anybody quits their job and starts a business. We encourage people to, operate from a place of ecology and integrity, and make sure that you're supporting yourself financially until your business is solid enough, and bringing in the income that's going to, take over that other income that you need. So it's important that you do protect your family financially whilst you're building your business. Clarity is the other piece. So clarity is a crucial element in all aspects of business. So clarity on the reason of why you want to do something, because that's going to keep you going in the times where it does get a little bit challenging. Clarity on who is your ideal customer is also super crucial. Clarity on your actual product or program or service, and what problem does it solve, and what are the benefits, what are the key elements and the features and the benefits, and clarity around what is the value of, what is your company values or your product values. So clarity in every step of the way is going to help you on your journey to success. If there's any areas in your business value ladder or your business plan or your unconscious that is uncertain, the unconscious mind is going to find it really challenging and difficult to actually kick the goal and hit the target. And so this is why we use the process of doing SMART goals and business planning. And we do a whole entire segment around clarity. And we also, in that module, we share with you where are the areas in your business where you need to ensure that you get clarity. And that's going to help the business success, because when somebody comes to you to ask you about your program or product or service, it's going to be super clear, and you're going to fill them with confidence, your potential customers, because an uncertain mind or a confused mind doesn't buy. So if you want to, if you want to inspire your customers, your future customers with confidence, then you need absolute clarity in your program or your product or your service. And action. What does it take? It takes massive action. So it takes a lot of action to get a business up and running. So you've got to be willing to do the work and take the action. And you will notice this if you wanting to go into business for yourself. The more you put in is the more that you're going to get out. The less you do, the less you're going to get. If you treat your business like a hobby, you will make a hobby income. If you treat your business like a business, you will make a business income. And it really is a mindset switch. And it's just understanding how much action are you willing and prepared to do in the business? And are you taking action? When things aren't working well, what's the strategy? What's the action strategy that you do? Are you going to bury your head in the sand, or are you going to reach out and ask for help and advice and seek the right people? So action is a huge piece. And maybe you might be somebody who's had an idea or thought about going into business for yourself for such a long time, and you've not taken the leap of faith or taken the action to actually go and have the conversation with Lenka or myself, or just going, you know what, I'm going to put this into action. This is my year. I want to do this now. So it's taking that first step is usually the most challenging for a lot of people, but taking massive action. So, if you're perhaps in the early stages of a startup, ask yourself the question, what is it that's not working? And what is your action strategy that you're doing? Is it that you're complaining or finding reasons why it's not working, or excuses why it's not working? Or are you taking the action to go, well, why is this not working and what can I do to change it? So action comes in every step of the piece. And sometimes you might be taking action, but sometimes it's looking at the actions that you're taking and then recognizing, well, this action is not producing the results that I want. How can I modify the actions that I'm doing? So having that flexibility, and this was one of the biggest things for me learning in my business, is becoming more flexible. So I'm a Taurus. For those of you who believe in astrology, and one of the character traits of a Taurus person is stubbornness and rigidity. And so I used to be very stubborn and rigid, and I used to fight to be right, and it had to be done this way. And that was the worst characteristic trait that I could have had back then, because when you're in business, the more flexibility you have, the more fluid you become to be able to navigate challenges and obstacles as they arise. Because let's face it, they do. Life itself throws us curveballs all the time, and the more flexible we become, then the easier it's going to be for us to navigate those obstacles when they do arise. Anything you want to add in here, Lenka? I'm sure there's so much more of what it takes, but is there any key elements that you would like to add in here?
I think I think we're good for now. I absolutely, again, clarity for me is everything. You touched on it quite a bit, but again, with clarity comes really understanding where you fit in this whole process. And clarity is all about the tools you need and the network and the action and the flexibility, understanding really what it takes to start a business. So the clarity part is, again, one of my passions, because going into the business thinking that it can truly be not the 9 to 5 and I can do whatever I want to, however I want to, and or that I can be successful overnight. The clarity piece will tell you that that really is not how business is. And you and I had a lot of series on really uncovering the truths behind starting and building a business. And that's where clarity comes in, with knowing what it takes to be successful, what you have to put in to be successful, have realistic expectations, especially in the very beginning, and having the right support. So you covered it very beautifully. This was just a little touch that I wanted to.
Beautiful.
Beautiful job.
Thank you. So just a quick one for you. I just want to share with you, what role is your brain playing in the background? And so every thought, every feeling, every behavior, every action that we do is all driven from our unconscious mind. So for those of you that don't know, we have a thing which is called our unconscious mind. It's like the computer system that's operating everything in the background. So when you have an itchy arm, you just scratch it. You don't think, oh, I better lift up my left hand and take it over to my shoulder and scratch it. You just do it unconsciously. And that's because your brain has learned these things over time. Now, interestingly enough, and I touched base on this just earlier, when you've been, if you've been working in a job role for such a long time, what it does is you've become an expert, or you've done that job so well for such a long time, you've done it repetitively, and so you're able to do it without thinking almost. So you've become consciously competent at doing a particular task. And when the brain feels competent, what actually happens is the brain drops into what's called a theta state, a theta brainwave state. We've got 5 different brainwave states that we operate from. But when you're starting something new, when you're going into business, there's lots of different things that you need to navigate. You have to focus a lot more. There's lots of challenges. You've got to be problem solving. And what that does, it bumps the brain from theta state into beta and gamma state, which requires a lot more focus and activity and a lot more energy. But what happens, the amygdala part of the brain, which is the domain of our emotions, and it's also the domain of our memories, it starts to have a little freak out. The amygdala part of the brain is the processing piece that manages our emotions. Things like happiness, things like fear, things like anxiety, right? So when when the amygdala is happy, it's sending out the happy hormone. So you're in a happy state, you're calm, you're relaxed, you're not stressed. But as soon as the amygdala is like, hey, hang on, we're uncertain right now, there's a lot going on here, I've not done this stuff before, the amygdala part of the brain has a little mini freak out, and then it will start to trigger off senses of fear or anxiety. And so because that part of the brain is designed to keep you safe. And so what happens for a lot of people is, they're going into something new, that it's uncertain territory, we don't know how to do it, and then all of a sudden our fears and our doubts and our limitations come to the surface, and a lot of people will give up because they're like, well, this isn't for me, I'm freaking out right now. They know that they don't know how to do something, but it's not that they don't know how to do it, it's that there's a triggered emotional response of fear or anxiety that's being triggered unconsciously from the amygdala part of the brain. But now that we know that this is just a normal response, we can begin to pattern interrupt this part of the process. So what my suggestion is for people is, when you start to feel the fear or the anxiousness come through, is just to recognize, like, okay, thank you, amygdala, you're starting to just let me know that I'm doing something that I haven't done before, and it's okay. And so it's about pushing past that threshold. We've also got another unconscious filter, which is called our convincer filter. And so this is why repetition is so powerful. If you've been doing something, 5, 10, 6, 7, 20 times, once you've done something long enough, you feel your convincer levels like, hey, I got this. I'm okay, I got this. And then the amygdala is happy again, right? So when you feel the fear or uncertainty or doubt come through, recognize it, just go, I know this is just a pattern. I'm going to lean into this. I know it's going to take me a little while to learn, but I've got this. And then you might have to do it again and again and again. And once you do something 3, 4, 5 times, it's the power of repetition. The unconscious mind learns through repetition. So the first couple of times you do something new, it's going to feel very uncertain. And the amygdala is going to have a little freak out and go, hey, I don't like this. I'm a little bit scared. And you might feeling anxiousness or fear coming through. But once you push past that threshold and just go, I'm learning. And if you just change your language and just go, that's okay, we're learning. That's okay, I've got this. And then once you do it repetitively, the learning will come into the unconscious mind, the amygdala will be happy again, and then you can get about your business. So it's really important to understand how the brain is playing the role in the background. One of our core basic human needs is certainty. And so, the unconscious mind will work on repetition. So once you do something a couple of times, then it will be certain, and then everything's going to start being okay again. So it's interesting that we can actually override the fear and the emotional response in our brain just by pattern interrupting ourselves or recognizing that when it comes through. Yeah. So adopting the right strategies for business. So this is where we come in at Startup Pro. We can help you adopt all of these strategies so we can help you get expert advice. We can connect you with people in our community where you're talking to people who actually have they're actually qualified to give you advice. So whether it's about legal, whether it's about how to set your business up, whether it's LLC, sole trader, company, how do you set things up properly? How do I write a business plan? How do I do my branding? How do I validate my business idea? This is stuff that we help you out very much. So we help you at our academy to adopt the right strategy. So for those of you that are looking at starting or launching something new, we can help you with all of this stuff. When it comes to your goal setting, we help you with the SMART goals formula. When it comes to validating your business idea, which Lenka shared is the most crucial step, this is the part that we can help you with. And when it comes to networking, ensuring that you have the right solid support network, that can be one of the scariest things for people going into business for the first time. They're like, hey, I've never done this before. I kind of want someone to hold my hand a little bit. And that's where we've got you. We've got you at in our community. We've got the right network of people. We've got people that, you can literally go, hey, I need some help here, and then reach out anytime, and we've got your back. So rather than trying to reach out to friends, family, and then that can put a lot of people off because sometimes our friends and family members aren't actually qualified to give us the right advice. And if they give us, a piece of advice that, it might then start to trigger our own doubts or self-doubt or limitations. But if you're getting the right advice from the right people and you've got a stronger network around you, you will be much more supported on your journey for success as well. So Startup Pro, we've got multiple different solutions for you. So we've got the way that we've designed the business is we've got free resources. So we've got free resources on how to actually validate your business idea. We've also got self-paced programs through a beautiful mobile app platform where you can download the app and you can get access to courseware. And so it will literally take you through a step-by-step program on the whole entire roadmap and order and sequence of like, hey, start here, do this first, validate your business idea, do your market research, build on your confidence, get clarity around these particular things. And I'll show you what that roadmap looks like in just a moment. So we've got the self-paced version of the program. We've also got what we call the Accelerator Bootcamp. And so that's where we run you through a 12-week program with myself and Lenka. We have weekly live sessions, and we actually take you through hand-holding basically through the process, where we unpack each of the modules with you. We give you action items and tasking to do. You go and do them. We give you live feedback. And then we've also got the one-on-one coaching or the group coaching for the Accelerator boot camps as well. So anything that you need, wherever you're at or however you like to learn, whether you're more of a self-paced person or you like to do it with us, we've got you covered in that aspect. So Lenka, for those who don't know, the beautiful Miss Lenka, Lenka is the founder of Startup Business LLC. She's got 14 years experience of deep understanding navigating startups. So she's an expert in this particular field. She's worked with so many amazing business owners across the globe and really helping them with validating their business idea. She knows the ins and outs of what to look for. What does it mean? What do you need to know? Is it viable? Is it going to work? Is it going to be a train wreck? So she's going to really be, such a crucial element to the foundational piece of the startup journey. Myself, I've been in business for 20 years now. I'm in my 13th business model, and I work with business owners across the globe. So I'm an international business coach and life coach. And I work with, on the daily, I work with business owners in multiple different industries and niches. And so we've both, myself and Lenka, have skin in the game. We've got our feet on the ground. We're actively in the industries. We're in multiple different industries on the daily, and we bring you relevant information. What's happening now, what's happening in this industry right now, what's happening with legal, what's happening with everything that you need to know right now. So you've got the backing of myself and Lenka as the founders of Startup Pro. And like I mentioned before, we've also got experts in different fields. So we've got sales experts, we've got legal experts, we've got different people in different industries and niches as well. The roadmap that we actually help you with, and this is the sort of the step by step, if you were just getting started, or perhaps you've started, but you seem to be spinning the wheels and you feel like there's a couple of missing pieces there. This is the roadmap that we take you on the journey through our Startup Pro boot camps and through our academy. Is we teach you how to do a very effective market analysis and research. We teach you how to find the purpose and getting super clear on things. We teach you how to create your unique brand, your unique positioning, your unique market point. We also help you gain clarity in very crucial areas in the business as well. We also do a whole module around helping you create a solid business plan so you know what the roadmap looks like, you know what the milestones are going to be, and we help you develop that map for yourself. We help you discover your confidence. So if you're somebody who is like, hey, I don't know if I can do this, we're going to help you through that part of it as well. We help you also create your digital footprint. This is Lenka's area of expertise. So, knowing how is it that you and your program or product or brand is showing up in the digital landscape, your website, your social platforms, where are you being seen online, and what does your digital footprint say about you and your business? We also help you develop the marketing mindset. So I'm going to come in and teach you in that segment the psychology behind marketing and how do you become an effective marketer? How does your program, product, or service speak to everybody, not just the way that you speak in your own natural language, because we all have our own style. But I'm going to teach you from a marketing psychology of marketing perspective, how do you take your program, product, service to market so it speaks to everybody. We also do a segment on legal, so knowing and understanding your legal liabilities. We've got some amazing legal teams that we affiliate with in Australia and also in the US, and we can give you access to legal information that you might need for your business. We also help you aligning your values, so your business values and also your personal values, to make sure that every decision you're making is aligned with your values and you're not going to hit burnout, and you're not going to be, feeling incongruent with your program, your product, or your service. And we also do segments on helping you set up your workspace. So what to spend money on, where you don't need to spend money, what's just fancy fad stuff, and what are the core essentials that you actually need. So helping you create a functional workspace, and also developing habits for success. So that's everything that we teach you inside the academy, plus loads more. And you basically get access to continuous education and learning. Sorry, I've just slipped here. Continuous education and training from myself, from Lenka, from our guest experts, so you never feel alone inside our community that you've got ongoing access to. We're forever bringing in guest speakers and talking about different elements. Freebies, we do ongoing webinars. You get access to all of our checklists, business tools, anything that Lenka and I use in our own businesses. We're open book. We love sharing to help our people with their businesses. We work with trusted providers across the globe. We also get exclusive member deals, products, discounts, world-class community and networking opportunities. So there's some amazing business owners from across the globe in different niches, which is really cool. It's so cool that it's such a diverse landscape. So it's not just one particular industry or niche. You can actually come into our community and network with people from right across the globe in different areas. You'll also get direct access to myself and Lenka, and you've got ongoing support there. So you also get access to our mobile app platform, which has all of your library of resources, all of your courseware, all of your course material, all of your modules. It's got videos, it's got workbooks. It's pretty cool. Lenka's just popping some links in there now, so where you can find all the information. Oh, excuse me. And we would love to offer you all an exclusive deal. So if you're on the call or if you're watching the live, our next Bootcamp Accelerator program, which is our 12-week group coaching program, it kicks off on the 10th of June. So that's where we will take you through 12 weeks together. We go through the journey together. It's really cool. So you get access to the entire mobile app platform, the library, the resources, everything, plus you get the weekly group coaching with us. So it's usually valued at, it's over $10,000 worth of value. We are doing it for an exclusive price today for just $14.97, that's USD. Or if you want to do it a more affordable option, it's a $99 a week payment plan. So whichever works for you. Lenka has just put the link to find out more about the bootcamp. And if you're watching the live video and you're interested in joining us or you want some more information, just simply put a comment there and we'll make sure we get those links to you as well. Now, if you're more of a self-paced person, and you just want to get access to the mobile app and actually run through the course material for yourself at your own pace, you can join the Academy and get access to our courseware for just 149 USD. So it's pretty amazing, and you can access the app through the Apple platform or the Google Play Store as well. And as soon as you get started or download the app, you can basically join us for the academy, join us for the boot camp, whichever you like, and you get access to the freebies. So you'll get instant access to freebies where you can, I think one of the ones is we've got to how to validate the business idea and how to create your purpose as well. So understanding what is the purpose for you, what is the purpose of the business, all the cool stuff. So I'm just going to stop sharing my screen. And I think we did good for time today. Gee, wow, look at me
We
go.
did fantastic, fantastic. And if I can add anything about the Startup Pro Academy and also the boot camp, one of the commodities that you really can buy and you cannot ever get back is your time. And everything that we go over with you is specifically designed and set up so that you don't get to waste your time. You're actually as effective as you can be and efficient with your time so that you truly, all the work you're doing is towards an outcome, a desired outcome. Yes, you can find all the information about how to start a business online. You can hunt down the YouTube. You can go on the internet, right? You can take webinars. Everything is out there somewhere. You will be able to find it. You may have to do trials and errors, right? All that costs you money and additional time. And that's the part where Startup Pro Academy, everything that we do will help you avoid waste of your time, waste of your energy, waste of the trials and errors. There's no reason for that. And for that incredible, incredible price of $1,500, we will guarantee that you will get the outcome that you desire. You will find the clarity around your mission, values, your product, your desires, your dreams and goals, everything that's right in here. We will help you bring it from here and here on the paper. We will help you design your business around the idea and the dream that you have. And at the end, we'll put a nice little bow on it. But it doesn't stop just there. As Julie was saying, Startup Pro is continuous education, is continuous access to information. And it's us working with the best in the industry to bring you the most innovative ideas and most really like the latest solutions out there, whether it's digital solutions or mindset or even AI. So now AI is becoming a really big part of everything we're doing. And we're rewriting as we're speaking the last module, and that we have to incorporate AI into how to actually have or turn an AI digital platform into your virtual assistant. So time is a really important component of you being a business owner. You will never have enough. You always feel like there's just not enough time in your day. And Star Pro is the solution for that. We will help you save a ton of time by bringing you the right information at the right time at your choosing so that you can really truly feel supported, provided with the tools and resources that you need right now in this moment to take that idea and enthusiasm and excitement of building a business into actual fruition.
I love that. Thank you so much, Lenka, for sharing that. And I can't really add too much more onto that. It really is the order and sequence of the material that we take you through, exactly like what Lenka said. You can find anything you want online, but it's just chunks here, there. It's so random, and it would be really like trying to find a needle in a haystack or piece it together if you've never been in business before and you don't know where to start. You really do want somebody to go,
Absolutely,
okay,
100%.
where do I start? What's my
Yeah.
step-by-step process? And that's what we really do bring. So thank you so much for those of you that have jumped on and joined us live today. And also thank you so much for those of you that are watching the live streaming on the platforms. And we also look forward to hearing from you, those that are watching the recording as well. So if you've got any questions at all, reach out to myself or Lenka or Crystal, and we will be with you. We will look forward to serving you. So have an amazing rest of your day, evening, whatever time it is in your part of the world. And we will see you all, hopefully, inside the academy.
Absolutely, 100%. Thank you again, everyone. Thank you, Julie. Thank
Thank you.
you.
Bye. Thank you,
Bye-bye.
Junior. Bye.